Hello, I'm Kristen. This is Compass Yoga. Welcome to my living room. We will be doing a 25-30 minute relaxing flow to help us unwind and release tension. This is Nim the cat, if you can see her, and we're going to hope she behaves. But yes, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm seated on like two folded towels. You can be right on the floor. Whatever comfortable seat makes sense for you, go ahead and do that. And as you settle in, center yourself on your sitting bones, lengthen up through your spine, release your shoulders down towards your waist. Your crown of your head is reaching up towards the ceiling. And you can leave your eyes open or close them and just begin to drop into your body and your breath. Tracing the path of your breath as it enters your body and expands your belly and your rib cage. And then tracing the path of the breath back out of your body as you slowly contract. And just noticing the breath without judgment. Just finding a focal point for your attention to help keep your mind from wandering. And throughout your whole yoga practice, always remember that you can come right back here to your breath. So if your thoughts kind of start to spiral away and you get a little bit lost, maybe you feel tension creeping into your body, just bring your awareness back to your breath. And hopefully you can find some sense of centering and peacefulness. On your next inhale, make it long and deep. Hold the breath at the top. And then exhale with a sigh. Do that again. Big inhale. Holding at the top. Exhale, sigh. One more big inhale. Holding the breath in. Exhale, let it go. Drawing your hands together towards your heart center. And taking a moment here to set an intention for your practice, for your evening. Any intention works. And go ahead and release the hands, softly blink the eyes open. We're going to go ahead and get started on our back. So if you were seated on a prop, just go ahead and move that out of the way for yourself. And then gently roll yourself onto your mat. So just leaving your feet planted on the mat. Bring one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. We're just going to draw our awareness back to our breath here again. So just taking a few natural, normal breaths. Noticing with your hands the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. Releasing any tension in your jaw and in your shoulders. Just sinking into the mat here. And maybe being quiet and still with yourself feels a little bit odd, a little bit unnatural. You're used to being busy, but it's very nice with practice to get to a place of just contentment, of just bringing your awareness to the present moment and using your breath as an anchor to the present moment. Not feeling hurried or rushed. Just taking a few moments to kind of pause the world, pause the to-do list, and turn your attention a little bit inward. And go ahead and inhale, draw both of your knees in towards your chest and just gently rock here side to side. Releasing the left foot to the mat, hugging the right knee in and circling that right ankle in one direction and circle it in the other direction. So if you have a strap, make sure it's handy. We're about to use it. If you don't have a strap, that's fine. You can still totally do this. So we're going to extend that right foot towards the ceiling. If you have a strap, go ahead and put it on the ball of your right foot and then extend the leg. You could hold on behind the leg, behind the thigh, leaving the left foot planted on the ground, or taking this stretch a little bit deeper by extending the left leg along the mat and keeping that left leg active, grounding the heel into the mat and flexing the toes up towards the ceiling. Release any tension in your jaw and in your shoulders. Tuning into your breath here and breathing into the stretch in your right hamstring. And you can keep a bend in the knee if that feels better. There is no expectation for your leg to be straight. Your leg can be forward a little bit, whatever feels like exactly what is within your reach for your body right now. Taking your left hand, planting it on your left hip, grounding that left hip down, moving from a place of stability. Begin to release your right foot away from your torso. Still pushing through the ball of your foot, flexing the foot. Left leg is active. And look out over your left shoulder if that feels okay on your neck. Inhaling that right leg through center, switching hands with the strap if you're using one, and then gently guiding that right foot over to the left as you perhaps look out over your right shoulder. Only turning over your right shoulder if that feels okay on your neck. Breathing here into your twist. And go ahead and inhale yourself through center and just draw that leg in a little bit deeper for a moment and release. Leave the strap by your side, bend the right knee, hug the left leg in and circle that left ankle in one direction and circle that ankle in the other direction. And same thing here, using a strap or not, go ahead and extend that left foot up towards the ceiling. And leaving the right foot planted on the mat or extending that right leg out. Right leg is active. Breathing here into your left hamstring. Again, keeping a slight bend in the knee if that feels better. Relaxing tension in your jaw, in your shoulders. Just breathe here. And planting your right hand on your right hip, grounding that hip down, keeping that right leg active. Gently release your left foot away from your torso and look out over your right shoulder if that feels okay on your neck. Breathing here. If your right hip starts to pop up, just back out of the stretch a little bit, ground down, and then come in only as deep as you can keep your right hip grounded. And then inhale through center, switch hands with the strap, and exhale, twisting your left leg towards the right as you look out over your left shoulder. Deep, long breaths here. And go ahead and inhale through center and just draw that leg in for a moment and release the strap. So leave that strap off to the side. And we're going to do a little bit for the hips here. So lifting your right foot, take it across and put your right ankle on top of your left knee. Keep that right ankle flexed. Check in here and stay here. If you feel a strong sensation in your hip or even in your knee, we're avoiding a strong sensation in the knee. So perhaps just hug this knee in instead. Otherwise, flexing the right ankle, staying here, or lifting the left foot away and holding on behind the left thigh or along the left shin. And just gently drawing your legs in towards your chest, keeping that right foot flexed, and breathe here. Inhaling to send breath right into that right hip, and exhaling to just let the tension melt away. Releasing that, we'll switch sides. So take your left ankle on top of your right knee, keeping the left ankle flexed. Stay right here, or go ahead and come in a little bit deeper, holding on behind the right thigh or along the right shin. Inhale into that left hip as if there's a tiny pair of lungs and you're sending breath right there. And then exhale to just blow tension away. If at any point a sigh feels like it's building up and you want to release it, go ahead. Let that energy move. Relaxing, releasing both legs. Hug your knees into your chest. Let your feet fall to the mat. Roll over onto your right side. And then gently use your left hand to push yourself slowly up to seated. We're going to come into rock pose. So if you have a block, go ahead and put it right between your ankles and rest your sitting bones down on that. If you need a little bit more cushion, by all means, I'm going to use my towels. This helps take a little bit of strain out of the knees and the ankles. So go ahead and get comfortable. You can absolutely do this sequence seated in a cross-legged position or even seated in a chair. So whatever works best for you, go ahead and get situated. And no matter where you are, begin to lengthen through your spine. So instead of letting your back super arch, try to release your tailbone down towards the floor. Roll your shoulders back and down towards your waist. Breathing here. Go ahead and inhale the arms out, around, and up. Exhale, release your right hand down along your right side, and then inhale your left arm in line with your left ear. Breathing into the left side body, grounding through that left sitting bone, and relaxing that right shoulder away from your right ear. Inhale, both arms up through center. Exhale, release your left arm down by your side. And then inhale your right arm in line with your right ear. Breathing here into your right side body. Again, grounding through that right sitting bone. It might try to pop up, so go ahead and just shift some weight back into it and relax your left shoulder away from your left ear. Breathe. Inhale up through center. Exhale, releasing the arms behind you, hooking the thumbs or clasping the fingers. Go ahead and roll your shoulders back. Without hyperextending your elbows, go ahead and stretch your knuckles behind you, lift the chest, maybe lift the chin. Breathing here across the collarbones. And release that. Roll the wrists in one direction and the other direction. And go ahead and inhale the arms out to shoulder height. Cross the right arm over the left and then take the back of the hands together or touch opposite shoulders. If you have the back of the hands together, see if maybe you can comfortably take an extra wrap. And then your elbows are about in line with your shoulders. And just breathe here into the space between your shoulder blades across the top of your back. Still lengthening your tailbone down. Release tension in your jaw. And release this. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, crossing left now over right. Again, back of the hands together or opposite shoulders, or perhaps taking a little extra wrap. Elbows are about in line with the shoulders. And just breathe here. Long spine. Relax your jaw. And release that. Inhale, arms out to shoulder height. And relax the arms down by your side, rolling your shoulders back. And then roll them forward. And just do a few neck rolls, rolling your chin towards your chest and then one ear over your shoulder. And back the other way. Only do this if it feels okay on your neck. And you can, of course, stop and kind of breathe into somewhere If you feel a really good sensation, just any natural, nice movement for your neck and your shoulders. When you're ready, inhale your head up through center. If you're seated up on props, go ahead and move those out of the way. And we're going to come into a tabletop position. So lining up your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips, spreading through your fingers, rooting through the base of all of your fingers. Go ahead and inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chin. Exhale, round the back, push away from the mat, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling forward, chest through the gates of the arms. Coming into your cow pose. Exhaling to round back into cat pose. Inhale forward. Exhale, round. Inhale to a neutral spine. Take the big toes together, maybe walk the knees slightly apart, and then just send your hips back into a child's pose. Resting the forehead down on the mat or possibly stacking your fists. And you can always put a prop under your hips if you need to make a comfortable adjustment. Just breathing here. Nice, long, deep breaths. Inhaling yourself back up onto your hands and your knees. And we're going to come into a low lunge. So stepping your right foot up in between your hands, lining up your right ankle under your right knee. And you can rest your hands here on the mat, or you can rest your hands up here on your right thigh. Or if you have props handy, you can use them under your hands, framing your ankle. And go ahead and just sink your hips forward, lengthen through your spine, broaden across your collarbones, and breathe here. Relax your jaw. Relax your shoulders. And go ahead and step your right knee back to your left and switch sides. So stepping your left ankle now in between your hands, lining up that left ankle under your left knee. And again, resting your hands on the floor, on your thigh, or on props. Sinking the hips forward, lengthening through the spine. You can tuck your back toes for a little bit more stability if it feels like you need that. And breathe here. And go ahead and step your left knee to meet your right. Move your blocks off to the side if you were using them. And we're going to come into a wide down dog. So walk your hands about as wide as the mat, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips, and then walk your feet just about as wide as the mat. So you're rooting through the base of all your fingers, you're lifting through the forearms, you're pushing weight up into your hips and back down through your heels. And just stretch your chest towards your thighs here in your downward facing dog. A little bit of a wide one helps you find a little bit more room in your spine and your hamstrings. Breathing here. You can nod your head yes and shake your head no. Maybe wiggle your hips from side to side. Any movement that feels pretty juicy for your body right now. Go ahead and do that. And release to your knees and come to a child's pose. Inhale yourself up onto your hands and your knees, and then step your right knee in between your hands and kind of walk your right foot towards the left side of your mat, and then slide your left knee right behind your right knee. And then sink your hips back. So I've got my feet on either side of me, and I have my right knee stacked over my left knee. Now, this is quite a bit of an intense stretch in the hips, and you might feel a little bit of discomfort in your knee. Protect your knee. So if this is extreme, go ahead and extend that bottom leg and just see if you can bend the top leg any amount. It could hang out over here. It could hang out here. Whatever feels great, do that. Otherwise, hanging out in shoelace is the yin name for this. I forget the Sanskrit name. Maybe this is Gomukhasana legs. I think that's right. So full Gomukhasana pose, cow face pose. So our legs are like so. Go ahead and inhale your left arm up. Your left hand, bring it behind the back of your neck. Inhale, swing that right arm out to your side. Exhale, sweep it behind you, clasping the fingers or holding onto your shirt. Roll that right shoulder back, left elbows pointing up towards the ceiling. And just breathe here, releasing any tension. Release the hands, keeping the legs the same way. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, perhaps fold forward any amount. No pressure to do so. It's already quite intense sitting straight up and down. So hang out wherever feels good for you and just breathe. If you are seated as I am, to switch sides, turn towards your left, plant your hands, push up onto your feet, spin yourself around, and then pop your right knee down, and your left knee should land on top. That's a little bit tricky. So if you want to pause and practice and play around with that, go for it. Otherwise, just assemble your legs. Remember, you can extend the bottom leg out if that feels better. And go ahead, get situated, ground through both sitting bones. Inhale the right arm up, take it to the back of your neck. Swing your left arm out and around, clasping the fingers or holding onto your shirt, and then roll that left shoulder back, that right elbow up, and breathe here. Relax tension in your jaw. And release the hands. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to stay here or fold forward any amount. Breathing here. Inhale to walk yourself up. Unwind your legs and we will roll down onto our backs. Hugging your knees into your chest. Go ahead and rock here side to side. Let your feet fall to the mat. Take your arms out to a T. Shift your hips a little bit towards the right and let your knees fall towards the left and look out over your right shoulder if that feels okay on your neck. Breathe here in your twist. Sink into the mat. Let it all go. And inhale yourself through center, hips to center. Shift your hips a little bit towards the left as you drop both of your knees to the right and look out over your left shoulder if that feels okay on your neck. Breathing here. And go ahead and release through center, hips to center. Hug your knees in one last time. Lengthen your tailbone towards the mat. Release your feet, extend your legs, palms up, arms along your side. Get the wiggles out and then come to stillness here in your Shavasana pose. Relaxing everything, letting it all go. Return to your natural, normal breathing and rest. As you are resting here, I'd like to offer you a quote. This is from Mary Oliver, the poet, and she shared, "The sea can do craziness. It can do smooth. It can lie down like silk breathing or toss havoc shoreward. It can give gifts or withhold it all. It can rise, ebb, froth like an incoming frenzy of fountains, or it can sweet talk entirely, as I can too, and so no doubt can you and you." Just resting here for a few moments longer. Begin to bring movement into your fingers and your toes, reaching your arms overhead, taking a nice full body stretch, rolling over onto your right side, and just taking a moment there to thank yourself and give yourself appreciation. Maybe check in with the intention that you set at the beginning of class, and then gently, slowly push yourself up to seated. Finding your comfortable seat, bring your hands to your heart center, hands to our foreheads, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to our heart centers, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And our hands to our mouths, reminding us to have clear and loving communication. Sending out all this positive, restful, relaxed energy to all beings everywhere. Thank you. I hope that you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments, and I will look forward to teaching more live yoga next week. So don't forget to sign up. Good night.